Hi, welcome back to Hobby News Daily. I'm Danny Black, and another episode with one of my good friends, David Spinrad, the Rated Rabbi. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello. Hello, Danny. It's great to be here.
Hello. I feel
Hello,
like we
Hobby
need a
News
little time
Daily.
for that, right?
How you
Yeah.
doing?
Hello, Hobby News Daily world, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Um, I wanted to have you on for a lot of reasons. One, I think we've gotten to know each other a little bit, and I could talk cards with my friends all day, so we don't have to worry about being on record for that. We can just do that. But also, you have a really unique perspective on the hobby as somebody who has been in the hobby for a long time. You didn't find baseball cards during COVID. That wasn't your first experience with baseball cards. So I definitely want to talk about your life, your background, but how baseball
Sure.
cards have kind of been a balance for you,
Yeah.
and how being a rabbi has its own needs for a balance, and vice versa. We can't spend our well, you shouldn't spend your whole life on baseball cards. Sorry, mom. But to me, it's a fascinating story.
Yeah.
So with that long introduction, and everything being said, you're ready to have some fun.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right.
So, I was like a lot of us, I was a collector as a kid. Um, Started first year, 78 tops, baseball and football. That's always my iconic
Yeah.
sets. 78, yeah. Collected through the 80s. I remember going way deep into the 83 set, which just happened to have those three iconic rookies, all the way through the 80s. Then I went off to college, and then, I was always a spiritual seeker for a far longer time than I've been a rabbi, and then for many years before I even realized I wanted to be a rabbi. And being someone who really can remember at one point moving to Portland, Oregon with all my possessions in my car. And it was a point of pride and really just traveling light. And to be honest, I probably left a few things back at home with mom and dad, including my cards. And everywhere I went after that, I would schlep them with me. And I held the cards, over the years, every so often I'd look at them. I had my best cards. Nothing was graded at all. My best cards, I had just a small stack of, top loaders in my safe. And it was a long, circuitous journey to the rabbinate. And a lot of sacrifices, a lot of moves, a lot of not having, right? Good sacrifices, no regrets. But it wasn't until 2021. So we're talking decades of having my cards, but they were just sort of inert in my life. It wasn't until 2021 where I'd realized that it had been, I don't know how many years, 20 years since I'd actually made any time for myself, any space. We're, 9 months into COVID. And for, like I said, for all those years, I'd been pursuing becoming a rabbi. I went to school, was a rabbi, husband, a father, and other than working out, which was just sort of like, the equivalent of taking your medicine, you do it because it's good for you. There was nothing just for me. There was no,
Yeah.
and I realized it, in the darkest COVID, and people were watching Tiger King and making sourdough bread, and I was working 24/7 from my basement. Everything was pastoral care, and I said, "Oh my God, I got to care for myself a little bit." And it was when cards reached that consciousness, that collective consciousness again. And I, like a lot of us, went down, and you know what it was? I remember that there was the big down 86 flare. And I said, "God,
Did I lose your mic there a little bit?
me."
Did I lose your mic there for a second? Can you hear me? We've got a storm here, so I might be. No, it might be the internet in my area, guys. We're having that part of that eastern winter weather here.
How
And
about now?
perfect,
Perfect. Do you want to
perfect.
start over? I can do that again.
No way, the guys. This is real life.
Oh,
No
this
real
is
people.
real.
This is real
Cinema
life. This is real
verite.
people.
All
It
right.
doesn't bother me,
You hear me
guys. If
now?
you're bothered by stuff like that, go find a hobby. Baseball cards are a great one, by the way. Um,
Good one.
okay,
So
so
anyway,
So people are making sourdough bread, which, by the way, I'm shocked you picked San Francisco sourdough.
Of course, man.
Right, absolutely. And you find that you've had no time for yourself. So
Yeah.
you just have to. Was there a moment? Was there like a time where you're like, baseball cards can solve my problem?
Yeah. It was just an awareness I wasn't caring for myself. No, Rabbi Spinrad, and there was no room where I wasn't husband or dad. There was no space for me, and it wasn't sustainable. It's amazing to be a rabbi, and it's an impossible task. It's 24/7, and it's not healthy to do anything that way. And so one of the things that I thought about during COVID, I thought that was really beautiful. Unfortunately, it didn't stick. Is I saw people's priorities realign.
Yes.
People were slowing down. People were making more room for their own self-care. People were recognizing patterns of behavior that were, unhealthily pathological. And I think a lot of that slipped away, but a little bit stuck with me in recognizing I need some me time. And I just went through my cards and what's amazing about, I stopped collecting really about 1990. And, let this be a cautious example for all of you, you rookie investors, you speculators now. Ben McDonald by the binder full, right? Your guy.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Like, who are these guys? But who are the other guys? Oh, Jeffries, which I know is Jonah John's guy. Van Poppel, Brian Taylor. And all these other guys, 89 set Topps started putting draft picks.
I'm with you.
So much. Yeah. So I got back in. And fortunately, I always had a budget. I keep spreadsheets for every year. I've recorded every transaction, everything I've bought and everything I've sold. I keep a transaction sheet for every year. I have a budget. And fortunately, when I got back into collecting, everyone was buying everything. So I started selling on eBay. I'm selling, like off-centered, very good condition, 1978 Fran Parkington. So I just like dollar by dollar built up a little war chest that's allowed me to grow into some bigger cards, just kind of playing the long game on it. And it's been great.
I think that's awesome. I definitely appreciate the fact that that this was the balance for you. I think sports sometimes gets pegged into this kind of like side box, like pop music. It's and it's not. It's memories of growing up. It's friends. It's moments. And then for what we do, and you put it on cards, you get to relive all those moments over and over.
For sure.
And I got news for you. For what I pay for therapy, she should just buy me a pack of cards every week. It would be cheap. It is ridiculous. Because I get such happiness and just hearing you talk about it and the passion we have. Just for it's funny. It's personal time, but you're really spending it with the players. You're remembering that game. You're remembering that moment. You're quizzing yourself. Oh, Kelly Gruber was the Blue Jays third baseman. I remember
pull, that. Kelly Gruber.
It came up last night with my clients. The only reason I had
well done.
So yes, I find that awesome. Now,
me too.
The other thing I find awesome is the Rated Rabbi name. As you know, that was just genius. Talk to me simply, like, where did it come from? How did it happen?
Yeah, it was. Oh my gosh, when I got bit by the bug so early, and it was peak boom. Right. So I'm January, February, March of 2021. And fortunately, I made relatively few big purchases at that point. I've definitely paid tuition that first year.
Yep.
Right. Definitely paid some dues, but well worth it. And I remember just being, going to bed, and the way I would go to bed is I would think about cards at night. I would wake up and I would check my same searches, and you know who you are if you're going, yup, that kind of thing. And I started to, I had Instagram, but I wasn't that active on it. And I was really looking to kind of get out of the cesspool of social media. And sports cards has its own special kind of cesspool. It's its own thing. But by and large, and especially in the vintage part of it. It's just good vibes. You're just celebrating each other's collections, celebrating cards, having great memories. I find it like a real oasis. So I guess I get more involved in Instagram and was walking. And I find like one of the things in life is it's really hard to not leap into action. And this is one of those situations where I would walk the dog in the morning and like, what kind of name do I want to have for what kind of Instagram handle, and wait and wait and wait and wait and don't push it, don't push it, don't push it. It's like when you're looking for that card, you can get the good one or you can be patient and get that awesome one. If you just wait, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and enjoy that alignment. It's coming. Absolutely. And I was just walking the dog. I remember it was a snowy morning, and Rated Rabbi is just perfect. And I saw it. I saw it in my mind's eye exactly. I take the Rated Rookie logo. It's got the alliteration. I sent the idea to it was a congregant from when I was in Atlanta. She's an art student. She was at UGA, Georgia at the time. I said, can you turn this Rated Rookie logo into Rated Rabbi? Like 2 seconds later, she sent me back a PNG, and I got stickers made, and I'm hobby legit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you a question. Did you have any concerns, or was it a plus to combine your profession and your hobby? Because for a lot of us, we need that line of dissemination.
What a great question. No one's ever asked me that, and I've thought about it a lot. So thank you.
Sure.
I have being clergy is a little strange, is that we're public figures. And while there are parts of me that are private, being a public figure, I'm very comfortable with it. And my approach to the hobby is really wholesome. You know, on my YouTube channel, on my podcast, off camera, I might swear like a sailor, but it's very family friendly, and I try to keep the
not uncommon in clergy of all denominations.
Of course,
yes,
we can't be that good. No. Yes, if you see a clergy person who doesn't have any vices, go the other direction. Right. So mine happens to be cardboard. So I was very comfortable with that public-private persona sort of blending together. I say a little bit, you know, in the hobby, it's for the cards. I'm a collector, so I don't try to I would never push religion on anybody. It's not really the Jewish way necessarily, anyway. And the name is there, but I'm a collector first. And I actually, I think the deeper part to your question, when you ask it, isn't necessarily the public merger. It's the inner journey. I actually think that collecting cards are an incredibly spiritual practice. You know, they teach us deep lessons.
I'm gonna take that clip and send it on Mother's Day. Like, you have no idea.
Please. You can footnote a rabbi said, Mom.
They used to say you're Facebook official when you're dating. Now it's rabbi official.
Rabbi approved, man.
Yes.
Well, but it teaches us such good lessons. It teaches us, again, lessons about. Well, one of my biggest lessons that I try to remember is how important it is to celebrate and take joy in what it is we already have. Right? It's not always just about that next card. That's like we're always making our happiness contingent upon the next, instead of going, wow, these are really neat. And it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the monetary value, right? In fact, all my favorite cards, I never lead with the value of them. And that's neat. I'm not saying that that's not cool, but that's not what makes them special. So that's a big spiritual lesson for me, is appreciate what you have. Another one is to celebrate other people's success. I've found that the fastest way, the most powerful way to experience more success in our own lives is to celebrate other people. You just feel better. You just stay more in the flow. So I just feel like it's a spiritual practice that teaches me a lot of deep lessons in life, or just gives me a platform to remember and practice some of those bigger life lessons.
Do you find yourself remembering those life lessons when the Ravens took the 49ers by 30?
Oh God, that was a curb stomping, man. Well, so let me help. I'm going to help you to understand what happened
Wait,
that
for the
night.
record, I happen to know that you're a diehard sports fan, guys. This was not an out of nowhere question.
No, no, no. No, Bay Area all the way. 49ers, Giants, and Warriors from cradle to grave for me. So I got to tell you that I was flying back, and it was Christmas night. And I was out with our son. I was visiting my brother and my dad who live in Las Vegas. And the way it worked out, I didn't know that at first the game was a Monday night. I thought, oh, I'll watch the Sunday game, and it turned out it was Monday night. So the reason that the Niners got blown out by Baltimore was I was in the air. I wasn't grounded and rooted as a fan. And I knew that was going to happen. My career record, they've never won while I haven't had feet on terra firma. So that explains that blowout. And it won't happen again. I would love a rematch in the Super Bowl. Maybe have a little friendly wager.
We owe you one from the last Super Bowl we beat you. So
oh God, he's really twisting the knife.
They just played the replay of the lights going out and the whole thing. What a crazy Super Bowl! That
oh
was,
my God!
All brothers and
Crabtree makes that catch, we win the game, man.
Yeah,
it still hurts.
It was. My seats were by the cast of Duck Dynasty. Do you remember that show?
Of course, you were at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I've been
wow.
to both Ravens Super Bowls.
Nice.
And so we're sitting, and the whole cast of Duck Dynasty is like the next row over. I mean, I can practically touch them. And they are the dirtiest, uncouth group of people. And my brother and sister were with me, and my sister's a little bit younger. She goes, "Are those 49er fans?" Sweetie, I'll tell you at the end of the game.
That's amazing. Wow.
No, but it was just fun. Like, I look at that as a family bonding exercise.
Oh yeah.
It didn't matter what the vacation would have been or the trip or the whatever. It was spending time with family.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the spiritual side, and what it does, it's all these memories. I mean, I taught my brother to read on the back of baseball cards.
Oh, love it.
I mean, all those little facts on the back. I mean, he knew who played the violin in the third grade before he knew his letters. But that to me was a great way. They say a spoonful of sugar to get the medicine go down. We did a lot of teaching, and I do it with my sons now.
Nice.
There's math, there's reading.
There's
personal skills.
That's cool.
There's empathy. There's negotiating. There's a lot of life skills. And that's why I asked the question, but I can see, the parallel paths for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So turning more to the card side, you are a big 80s guy.
Yeah. Guilty.
Yeah. So your favorite set?
Wow. Favorite set. I mean, my best thought, I got to go 83. I think it's a gorgeous set. Got this 83. If we're just talking 80s, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are we just talking 80s?
Just 80s, but I want to make sure
just
you say 83 tops, not doubles.
83 tops. Yeah. Sorry, 83 tops. If we're just going to go tops, my top three, I'm going to go 83. Just 80s tops. I'm going to go 83. I'm going to go 80. And then it's a shame that they're still printing it today. 89. I think 89 is a beautiful design. It's got a little like nod to the 65. Those are my top three. Yep. Donruss 84 Donruss is, I don't know what it is about. Is it the photography, the crispness, such a clean set. I love 84 Donruss.
Yep. The wave, it's that wave at the bottom. You can surf
the wave. Yeah. I think that looking back, that Fleer has some really great inserts.
Yeah.
I think it is underrated. There are superstar specials throughout those 80s are some beautiful cards. Those are just those were my 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. I have plenty from those, but those are when you could just tell I was putting them in my pocket. They're thrashed.
No PSA 10 Ricky Henderson rookies.
Not even close. I have a PSA 4 that I had Rob that I've had for a million years that I subbed just to have it graded, but it's that one, so that's fine.
Yeah. That's always the most fun.
Let me ask you, do you collect any football cards?
I do have some football cards.
Do you have so let me ask you your top baseball and then football sets from the 80s.
From the 80s is harder. I go vintage a little bit. I'm a
Okay.
57 football fan.
Oh, you
But
like that horizontal side by
I,
side, the
I love
Unitas?
I love the horizontal. It's got the Unitas. Um, I cannot stand the Jerry Rice rookie. Most of the 80s football turns me off, whether it was the NFL Pro set or some of that stuff.
Okay.
It's to me, it's very much of its period.
Yeah, yeah. Very 80s.
It's like the wood panel 60s. Like that was my
Totally.
dad's minivan. I remember. So and also, I mean, realistically, Baltimore lost the Colts in the
That's
early
true.
80s.
That's
So
true.
I had no football in Baltimore from the early 80s until 96.
Oof.
And so at that time, I was probably focused more on baseball.
Okay.
But I was a dealer in the 90s, and
Okay.
there was a lot of Washington fans in this area.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll watch my language in front of a rabbi, but Washington and Baltimore are different markets. They're not the
Definitely.
same. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Um,
Um.
and where are you
Let's.
now? Tell people, are you
Oh
you're not out of San Francisco now? You're over in
no, that's where I'm from. I'm near you actually. I'm in Alexandria, Virginia. Bethel Hebrew congregation, and it's great to actually live and serve in the same city. It's actually been a real lifelong dream. You know.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
how long
Short
have you been
commute.
there? How long have you been there?
I came in July of 2018, so coming up on 6 years.
Awesome.
I was in
Yeah.
Atlanta before then. You spent
Oh,
some time in the ATL,
I
right?
went to Emory. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Let's go back vintage football for a second, can we?
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Go,
we
go.
can't go back to 50s football and not talk about, I think, two of the greatest sets of all time, any sport. 52 Bowman Large.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
The artwork.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. And 55 Topps All American.
I go back and forth on the All
You
American.
do. Tell me about that.
I love the fact that there's an interesting 55 set. Because for me, the Colts were still around, or had
Yeah.
been in existence. What do you think of the look just on the look?
Oh, I love it. I love the how the colors are bright. Has that 50 soon. The colors are bright with the black and white background. I think the Jim Thorpe is just gorgeous with the blue.
So Jim Thorpe, I love anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really want the 33. Yeah.
It's doable.
Are you a fan of 33 perhaps?
I mean, there's one 33 I have my whole year revolves around a 33 baseball card. 2024 is devoted to the 33 Gaudy Babe Ruth card number 149, the red one that's over my shoulder. Right now, it's really. I'm going. If you play fantasy, the stars. Yeah, I see it, buddy. You got behind me. And you got behind you.
Yep.
It's kind of the fantasy. If you do fantasy sports, you ever do the stars and scrubs approach?
Yeah.
Right. Not bad. There's always waiver wire available. So my year is stars and scrubs on cards, and the 1 star is the Ruth, and then the rest are cards I buy for my podcast, dollar cards, $2 cards, and really trying to have 90% of my budget go to the Ruth, and then everything else is just to get the little mail day fix. I'm like I gotta find a junkie. Gotta find a dealer on the corner. Give me $1. I gotta sniff some cardboard.
My mail lady cracks up at me every day. She goes, "It's a good day for you." So 80s sets. What do you like in 80s football?
Well, like you said, it is so reflective of the decade, right? All it's missing is like a set design that has a Nagel print. That would be like the most 80s. So
shoulder pads and neon.
Big shoulder.
Yeah.
So I've always had a soft spot for a black bordered card, like 71 baseball, beautiful. Okay. So the 85 and yeah, 85 I'll go. Probably would go after that, just because it's the Montana rookie, the 81.
Yeah.
The most 80 set for me though is actually 84. the colors, the angles. It's it's got the that's the most 80s set to me. Nothing particularly special about any of the 80s sets, just nostalgia.
No, I definitely the Montana rookie. I forgot about that. That aesthetically, um, it's
It's
got that
nice, yeah.
classic baseball look. Maybe I just like that classic Topps baseball look, but it
Totally.
does have that feel to it. Like what baseball design can we change a little bit and make a football design?
Yeah.
But
Hey,
I like
you
it.
know what's really weird? I just
Yeah.
thought of something. So I don't have any unlicensed cards in my collection, right? And it's like personal choice, whatever one people want to do, they do want to do. But I don't want anything where I just see like the back of the guy's jersey, no logo. Like I said, no judgment. But it's just I won't spend a penny on that. Yeah, I'm not troubled at all by all those pro football cards from the 70s and early 80s that don't have any logos. Like, why doesn't that bother me? It just
Well,
doesn't.
that's an antique. It's charming.
That's weird. Never bothered me.
All right. Well, we are on the home stretch here. This is far too short.
Totally.
I will totally throw out that you will be a guest mensch on Card Menches with John Newman and I, and
Love it.
exact schedule to be determined.
Love it.
So we'll see you there. Where else can everybody find you? What's all your social?
I'm on Instagram. Rated Rabbi is my Instagram handle, and then I have a YouTube channel and a podcast. It's the Rated Rabbi Sports Card Podcast, where sports cards and pop culture meet the 1984 All-Star Game. Episode 52. I'm going to record this morning. We're going to do a little dive into a few different subjects, including 1962 All-Star Game. It's one of those 4 years, 59 to 62. They played 2 All-Star games. That real iconic 1962 manager's dream, 1961 All-Star Game. Actually, I have it right here.
Oh, I love that card. Yeah,
Love that card, 62.
except for the wood panel.
Get a little dive into actually not so much the card or the set or the All-Star Game, but talking about, because Howard Cosell on the broadcast, they show Willie Mays' retired disc on the Cyclone fence at Candlestick, and Howard opines what he calls, you're sorry to hear about the hubbub. So a little dive into the Bowie Kuhn suspensions of Mantle and Mays for associating with Las Vegas casinos, late 70s, early 80s. And I just go everywhere. A lot of it's free associative. I'm in bottom of the 5th inning, tracing the 84 All-Star Game, and I'm on episode 52. So, it's a slow road.
All right, excuse my ignorance. Other than Ripken and Murray, was there any Orioles in that? Did Tippy Martinez make that?
No, those. I'm trying to think of any pitchers. Boddicker, yes. Boddicker, it's his only All-Star game.
That's what, yeah.
So you're good, man. Yeah, Boddicker. Ripken, of course, starts. Murray had better numbers than Carew, but, you got to beat the champ to be the champ, so he doesn't get the start over Carew. It's Carew's last All-Star game before Murray takes over, actually.
Yeah, and it was only Murray's 6th year.
Yeah.
So Carew was still the veteran.
Yeah. And Carew's at the point of his career where the font on the back of his card is itty bitty bitty, Yeah.
That's a good thing. All right. My friend David, the Rated Rabbi, thank you so much for being on Hobby News
Thanks
Daily.
for having me, Danny.
This, like I said, we should have booked 2 hours.
It's a pleasure, man.
I'll see you in the green room. To everybody else, thanks for watching. Take care.
Bye.